everyone, my name is Jocelyn and welcome to All We Make Is Good. This is the Make Everything podcast where I talk mostly about my knitting and crochet projects, but also a couple of other things that I'm working on. Today will be mostly acquisitions and one finished object and one that will be a soon finished object as well. I think it'll probably only take me another day or two to finish it up. So I guess without further ado, we'll just jump right in. I'm going to start with the acquisitions because again I have a lot this episode, again just like last time. So why don't we start with the Barnyard Knits. So I ordered a bunch of like miscellaneous skeins. So the first one is a one of a kind. And these aren't my typical colors, but for some reason the speckled purple and pink was really calling to me. So I decided to go for that one. I got Winterberry on deluxe sock. I love this skein. I got By the Fire on deluxe sock. And I got Pheasant on the slub base. And I really want to make a cardigan on the slub base. I just need to buy up a few more skeins of some different colors so I can have some fun with maybe some stripes or something when I knit that up. So those are the first four, and then I actually just got another order in a couple days ago now, but I wanted to open it on an episode with you guys. So this is a colorway that I hadn't seen before that she just dyed up on a few different bases. And this is Falling Leaves on the deluxe sock base. And I think that this is just gorgeous. I love these colors. I love that she brought back a lot of her fall colorways. I think that's so pretty. I can't wait to knit with these. So many speckles and everything. You guys know I love speckles. These are so precious to me. I love this colorway. And I think it actually kind of goes pretty well with the By the Fire. I think that goes pretty nice. Maybe I'll incorporate By the Fire in whatever project I do with the Falling Leaves skeins. So that's it for Barnyard Knits. I did also stop at one of my favorite shops, Patchis, yesterday, maybe the day before, can't remember exactly, and I got 4 new cones of yarn, and I was really feeling the lighter colors. So I got this one, which is an 8-2 cotton. This is 100% cotton in the colorway Driftwood. Just a nice neutral. I'm thinking I might be able to make some lightweight tank tops or maybe even a full summer dress. I think this is probably the same as like a very light fingering or even a lace weight yarn. So I think I probably wouldn't knit with anything smaller than an 8-2 because this is technically weaving yarn, but I like to work with it. This is a cone of 100% linen, and the colorway is sand, and this is the 3-2. And I bought this because it is the same linen yarn that I am using for a few of my other ongoing projects right now, and I just love the way that it works up. It washes up so soft, and it's very drapey, and it's so nice. If you watched my last episode, I made my sister-in-law's recent lace dress out of it, and I am currently working on my sister's lace dress out of it. So I thought I would have some fun and make some things out of the sand colorway for the summer. I also got this, and it's a rayon cotton mix, and I actually just really like the texture I feel like this would be really nice to make some washcloths or other small hand towels for around the house. I think this would be really nice for that. Maybe for like drying dishes or something in the kitchen, things like that. We get a lot of spills in the kitchen because the cat's water dish is in there, and when they play with their toys, especially Toad, loves to race through the kitchen at full speed right across her water bowl and spill it all the time. So we do actually go through a decent amount of towels cleaning up those messes on the floor, and just wiping down the floor in general when there's water on it. It gets up a lot of the grime as well. It's not that I don't mop, but my floor gets very dirty because of the cats. So anyways, long story short, I think I'm gonna make some towels and washcloths out of this, and that should get me a decent amount. And then the last one is this gigantic cone, and this is 100% cotton, and I really wanted a white because my friend Hannah is getting married this year, and I had this crazy vision that I was going to knit her a lace and cables cape. So it would be like, it would have like a nice train, not too long, but it would have a nice train, and it would go up, and it would be sleeveless with like lace caps on the arms and a nice big lacy hood that she could throw over her head, and do it in all white cotton. And I would gift that to her for her wedding, which is this September. And I've been knitting so quickly with the 3-2 linen, I figured cotton would be a cinch as well. I don't actually know if this is 3-2, but it seems to be the same thickness as the linen that I'm working with. I hope this is 3-2. Either way, I plan on knitting a huge cape out of this white cotton, and then probably other things as well. This would probably be one of those cones that I just come back to every summer and make one gigantic project out of this until it's finally gone. So that's what I envision for that cone. So those are the 4 cones that I picked up and all of my skeins from Barnyard Knits, and now I would love to show you my recently finished object. This is my newest project bag that I made. I took all of the leftovers from my granny square cardigan. Again, if you haven't seen the last episode that I posted where I showed my granny square cardigan, you should go see that. These are all the leftovers from the yarn that I used to make that project, and I had enough to go all the way around the bottom with these squares, and I really only had like very, very little of each of these colors left by the end of this project, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to use up as much of the yarn as I possibly could. And then I went searching through my stash because this wasn't like tall enough for a project bag, and I didn't want it to be like really tall and skinny. I wanted it to be fairly wide and tall. I just wanted it to be a very large project bag. So I went through my stash and I found another old skein of Karen Simply Soft in this lovely red that I think goes really well with the rest of the colors. And then I used up the black to crochet the circular bottom. And then I put everything together with exposed, where's my finger at? With this exposed seam in the garden colorway. So I crocheted the whole bag first, and then I got to work on sewing together this lining, and I used this super fun print. I think this is like quilting cotton that I just got. It was like a remnant at Joann's, so it was 50% off everything that was left. So I had a good amount of it, enough to make this lining, and I had such a fun time sewing together this lining and putting everything together. This project was so much fun. I got to use crochet, sewing, and then I knit these I-cords to go through the top here to make this a drawstring. So this just tucks right back in, and it was really important to me that this could come out so that if I got anything inside of it, it would be a lot easier to like clean this out without getting the whole bag wet. I could probably throw the whole bag in the wash. This is all just acrylic yarn and 100% cotton fabric, so I'm sure that I could throw this in the wash. I just don't want to. So that is the bag. I had a hard time getting these drawstring cords into the top there, but this did give me the opportunity to learn how to sew buttonholes. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but I sewed some buttonholes so that I could cut the slit there and feed these through. I broke one of my tapestry needles threading these through. It was a hard time. But we got there, and I have been using this everywhere. Everywhere I go, I bring this whole cone, fits in here with ease, with tons of space for the project that I'm working on and more. I brought this to the beach recently. I went to the beach for the first time in years and spent the day there. I didn't do almost any knitting whatsoever or reading. I always bring a bunch of different things just in case I'm feeling something different for the day. So I brought a book to read, I brought my Switch to play, and I brought my knitting. And I didn't even bring a bathing suit because I was like, I don't really go in the water. I'm not really an ocean girl. And then I was in the water most of the time anyways. I went in with all of my clothes that I had on. It was so warm and so lovely. But anyways, this came with me to the beach, and it's been going with me everywhere, honestly. I just carry everything in this now. And I plan on this being my shopping bag for Rhinebeck as well. Unless I make another one. Or 2, or 3, or 4. This is so fun. I want to just keep making project bags now. Especially with like the crochet outside. I sewed the crochet down to the fabric so it doesn't come off, and it gives the crochet more structure so it doesn't like stretch out completely. And I'm just so happy with this project bag. Anyways, that's that one. The next one that I have been working on is using this cone of 100% linen, and this is my sister's lace dress. I cast it on and I had a lot of trouble with it in the beginning, but this is where it's at now. This is about 4 or 5 days worth of knitting. I've been knitting on this like a maniac, and I'm almost ready to split for the front and back and start working the sleeve openings. And then doing like the V-neck in the front. But this is my first time designing lace, and I had a hard time. I started this project 3 times, and each time I had to rip it all the way back to the beginning and start over, and I had to fix something in my chart. And I've learned a lot about designing lace with this project specifically, and what actually makes sense, where the stitches should go. And there are parts where I have 2 decreases next to each other to like form nice lines in the project, and I realized as I was knitting it that didn't make sense, because if you have 2 decreases, eventually that space is just gonna go away. And so I actually have to do like a decrease here and then an increase right before the decrease. So I still have the lines that I want, but it keeps that gap the same width. Does that make any sense to anyone? I hope it does. But I learned a lot about like how to logically put together a knit pattern and what goes into it. So I am extremely thrilled with this. And so is my sister. I just showed her this morning. I went over to my parents' house and said hello to everyone and showed my sister my progress, and she is so excited. So I am also very excited to try it on myself before I give it to her, if I'm not lying. So yeah, I anticipate that this will only take me probably another day or 2 of heavy knitting, and I will have finished the front and back, sewn them together at the tops. I've decided I am not going to use my sewing machine to do the shoulder seams. I'm just going to do it with the yarn. I think that'll be fine, because that's the only place where I have to actually sew together a seam, versus on my sister-in-law's where I had to do all of the seams on the sides, sew the sleeves on and everything else. I decided to do this project bottom up because I realized with my sister-in-law's dress, I refer to them that way as my sister-in-law and my sister because they're both named Morgan, and it's really confusing to reference both Morgans. But my sister-in-law's dress, I worked top down, and what I found was that I didn't realize just how much extra weight was going to be added by the end, and it ended up being a lot longer than I had planned it to be. So I figured if I knit this one in the round, so I didn't have to work in pieces, but two bottom up, then I could accurately gauge how heavy it was going to be, how much longer it was going to be, and use that to gauge when I should stop and split for sleeves versus guessing from the top. So yes, that is my current whip. I am extremely happy with it. I can't wait to get back to knitting it. I think that's actually it. I think the next project that I'm going to be casting on once that's finished is I will either work on a project for myself, which would be a similar kind of concept, probably using the same yarn, and I would do some kind of a lacy top for myself so that me and my sister and my sister-in-law could all wear ours together and kind of be matching, even though we have all different lace patterns and different styles of garments. I think that would be a really cute idea. Either that, or I would really like to, oops, sorry, Myrtle. If anyone is new here, this is Myrtle, and I tend to knit her sweaters that match mine, although she is still in her winter sweaters, so I think it's time to knit her something for summer. But I would like to dip into this cone of cotton and knit myself something in this, again, like a nice lightweight lacy kind of either long top or a dress or something like that, something to that effect that I can wear in the summer. So yeah, lots of ideas. Or I could just jump right in with the cape idea. And actually, I forgot to show you. I did a little sketch so you can kind of see what I mean, where it's going to have a nice little train and have like a lace design around the hem, and then cables down the back and little lacy sleeve caps. I'm sorry the lighting is so terrible. We're having a really bad rainstorm, so it's very dreary outside and I don't get too much good light in my room. I have like a big light on in the center of my room and a little ring light over here. So it kind of makes the light a little wonky because it's like yellow and natural and white light all at the same time. I'm working on it. So that is my cape design. So we'll see. I have no idea where my hands are going to lead me after this dress is done, but I am very excited to see what happens next. I hope you are too, because this is so much fun for me. I am thrilled at how much of this linen that I've actually used. This used to be this size, and I've gotten 2 full dresses out of it, and I'll get another one out of it, I'm sure, and then I could still probably make more like tank tops, like plain basic tank tops that I can wear in the summer. So this is just amazing that I managed to get, I think it's $7 a pound, and I think this was somewhere between 1 to 2 pounds of linen, and I think it was $7 a pound, so that's $14 for this cone right here. So if you think that was probably the same price for this, it was probably $14 for this cone, and I got 2, probably 3 100% linen dresses, really, really nice dresses out of it, and probably a few more tops as well. That is crazy affordable. I love shopping at Peter Patchis. If you are anywhere near New England, you need to shop at Peter Patchis in Central Falls. You'll have a blast just walking into the building. It's incredible. And that is everything that I have to share with you today. This is a nice, oh my gosh, only 20 minutes. A nice short episode this week. I am going to try to get into the habit of posting more frequently. I kept meaning to post last week and sit down to record. I just could never find the right time to sit down and do it. But I'm glad I found the time today. It's a nice, easy Sunday. We have nothing going on. I think I'm gonna go make some sandwiches for dinner. But anyways, thank you so much for being here with me this week, and I hope to see you in the next one.